Guys, I feel like we have to get on one accord when it comes to this Chrisean matter because I feel like we're all over the place with how we feel about this, right? Like some of us, we've seen it from the very beginning. A few guys are just catching on, and some of you have still not caught on. And it's super annoying. So I got like 10 things that I just wanted to go through in summary of Chrisean and who she is, and just things all wrapped up into this whole boil down of chaos, right? So we're going to start with number one. Chrisean has always been slow, guys. Okay, that is number one. She's always been slow. We've known that since she's tattooed another man's face on her neck. We've known this since she tattooed another man's name all over her body, 7 times to be exact. A man that was in a relationship with an entire another woman, right? A man that she barely was dealing with, that she met while being a guest, like one of the contestants, whatever you call it, on his show. We've known that since she wrote in blood on his walls. Like, I'm lost on how y'all are just now catching up to that. Someone that is chemically imbalanced does everything off. There's no right thought process to make them think clearly that nothing that they do makes sense. Everything that they do is off. Chrisean is a drug baby. Crack, if I'm guessing. But it is very clear that she was born with drugs in her system. She comes from a whole line full of addicts, from her parents, mom, dad, stepdad, siblings, grandparents, chaos, like you name it, uncles, aunt, like she comes from a line full of addicts. She comes from a line full of chaos. That girl was born with a chemical imbalance that was never regulated due to her messed up environment. Chrisean is a product of all of that. So yeah, she's slow, right? And guess who knew she was slow? Blueface, which brings me to my point number 2. The man used her. Blueface used her. Blueface knew that she was slow. Blueface never really wanted Chrisean. He was not really interested in that girl like that. Definitely not after she lost her tooth. But he knew she was slow. He knew that he could play along with it. Y'all forgetting that he used to show up at all of the spots and take her full check. 100%. Literally on some pimp hoe shit. And she would brag about it on social media at one point as if like that showed her to be a loyal and a real woman. Girl, what? Like, Blueface knew that. Blueface knew that since he's been going in this girl raw. He's been raw dogging her. And every time she popped up pregnant, he sent her to the chop shop. He didn't care that she was using abortion as a form of birth control. Nobody should be using abortion as a form of birth control on a consistent basis. Mind you, I am pro-choice. But when you are using it as a form of birth control on a consistent basis, that is wild. You are destroying your womb highly, at areas that can lead to beyond repair. Y'all are forgetting that Chrisean had 4 abortions before she got around to giving birth to Junior. 3 of those abortions came from Blueface, right? He knew that he never wanted a baby with her. Do you think that he would let Jaden go to the chop shop that many times? No. When Jaden announced that she was pregnant on camera, they jumped for joy. Okay, with Chrisean, I'm sending you to the chop shop. He went around to say, oh, she doesn't need to have this baby. Who gonna watch the baby? She's this, she's that. But you knew that as well, Blueface. You kept raw dogging her. You didn't want to go and put on a condom. You didn't want to go and force her to take birth control or even take her to the clinic to go and get the birth control shot. You didn't want to do any of that because you focused and based the entire decision on the fact that she was slow. And you thought that she was going to continue to do those things because she's slow. He's just as guilty. When the baby, you knew that when she was pregnant, we're watching you on TV hand her backwood. Jason Lee called out Blueface and said that Blueface and Chrisean was there at their studio smoking and drinking while she was full pregnant. He called out Blueface directly to his face about that. Okay? And Blueface is like, well, I mean, I ain't gonna tell a woman what to do with her body and this and that. So now you're trying to throw it up in her face as if like you did not contribute to the detriment of that child. Carlissa's trying to throw it up in the face and rewrite history as if we didn't all watch this man hand her the backwood. He's just as guilty. And the only reason why he is denying this child, which brings me to number three, the baby is Blueface. The only reason why he is denying the child is because of the guilt. It's the guilt and him refusing to accept that he is permanently connected to this girl for the rest of one of their lives. That's it. That is the only reason why he is denying. Let's be clear on something. There is no healthcare provider that's going to get on national TV, reality TV at that, and jeopardize their reputation and their business and their license with a fake storyline. If y'all are remembering from the Twitter post when they were going back and forth, the only reason why Blueface denied that child was simply because he says that he could not make out like, oh, the paper looks fake anyway. Y'all forgetting that on the show they couldn't read the paper. That doesn't mean that it was fake. That means that they are slow, that they couldn't read medical documents. That's it. That's it. Those are real documents. He knows that. Carlissa knows that. Chrisean knows that. And that's the only reason why Carlissa keeps throwing out little comments here and there about Junior. She knows good and well that that's her grandson. That's why she's mad when Bino exposed what he exposed about Junior falling off the bed. She knows good and well that's her grandchild. Blueface knows that's a grandchild, that's his child. That's why he, quote unquote, oh, I'll give you 40,000 to sit down somewhere. He knows good and well he don't got 40,000. Carlos already exposed that the new girlfriend was helping Blueface out financially. That was already exposed. Why would you need help from the new girlfriend financially if you got 40K? All of this is clout purposes. All of this is to go and share and change a narrative and to distribute an image that is false for all parties involved. Ronnie was not that baby's child. And I'm sick of people saying, oh, the baby looks like Ronnie. No, he does not. That baby looks like every other Kruger-Chat syndrome child. That baby looks like a cross between his mother and a child with Kruger-Chat syndrome. That baby is textbook definition for that syndrome. And that is the equivalence of when you see a Down syndrome baby, it doesn't matter the gender or the race, you know them when you see them. That's the same thing with Kruger-Chat, that textbook definition. Which brings me to the next point of the swallowing that Bino speaks on and that Chrisean speaks on as into why the baby's still on the bottle. Those with Kruger-Chat have poor muscles, poor swallowing muscles. And that is where occupational therapy and physical therapy and early intervention is highly recommended. So when she is saying that the baby doesn't like food and likes just milk, that's because of the poor muscles that is associated with Kruger-Chat. Y'all can look all of this stuff up. Where Bino was correct at was that early intervention is needed and that she needs to get him help. But you can't just go and stuff the food down the baby's throat because that is a baby with Kruger-Chat. Everything that's been exposed, it is very clear that Chrisean is not taking that baby to see no doctors. Because I can recognize that as someone who's in healthcare for over a decade, any doctor can recognize that that's a baby with Kruger-Chat. And they would have recommended to her early intervention. Chrisean is avoiding all of that. She's avoiding that. That baby is being poorly taken care of, but that is not Ronnie's baby. Ronnie used Chrisean for notoriety and clout. And that's another thing when y'all act as if like Chrisean doesn't have clout. She does, hence the reason why this video is being done, and hence the reason why every other video and everyone else is talking about her and how she ends up still on the shade room even while Blueface is in jail. She has clout. She has notoriety. Clout is just relevancy, notoriety. She has that. It doesn't mean that it comes with money, but it comes with relevancy and notoriety. And a lot of people will do that. You got people in your regular life that will do that. Let alone people that feel like they want to make it to the shade room. They feel like they want to get their Instagram followers up. Let's be real. I don't even like Chrisean, but we're going to call it what it is. Okay, that's why all of these people deal with her. That's why Marsh deals with her. DJ Scott deals with her. Jan at one point deals with her. That's why even the family that once abandoned her while she was sleeping on people's couches, that's why they all came back around. Which brings me to my next point of number 4. Taseki is using Chrisean. Taseki used her. If you go through the timeline of event, Taseki been trying to get her face out there since they're crazy in love. She kept challenging Chrisean. Chrisean was the one that was known as the heavy hitter. Taseki kept wanting to let us know that she taught her. We get it. Okay, so what? Taseki wanted to let us know that she's the one that does music. Taseki even said out of her own mouth that when Chrisean was born, she was jealous of her because she at first was the only light-skinned baby in that family. That's what Taseki said out of her mouth. So it is wild that y'all say that Chrisean is jealous of Taseki. Taseki used that girl. Taseki took a swing at her sister while pregnant on Crazy in Love because you wanted to show how tough you were even then. You wanted to show that you were big sis. You were the head girl even there. Okay? That's when Natalie on the Baddies in audition said Taseki's not coming on the show. Chrisean slides her a ticket. Chrisean says, no, I want Taseki on the show. Only if, because Taseki said that she'll join the show, if like, and take on all of Chrisean's battles. Right? That's what she agreed to. That's why Chrisean said, okay, yeah, go ahead and bring her on because I'm pregnant. You can go and handle these girls for me. Because there's a couple of people I want you to smack. Taseki agreed to all of that. Because she wanted that like that bad. Then she gets on the show and she immediately flips. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad that she decided not to swing on Woe Vicky and Anna. However, it doesn't change the fact that you signed a deal with the devil. You agreed to do that. And after you flip, you then turned towards your sister and started to threaten her, just like you was doing on Crazy in Love. You did talk about some, yeah, move me out your face. Yeah, you pregnant, but your face not pregnant. This is a girl who is a heavy hitter, who knocks up people, knock out their teeth, the whole 9, and you talking about swinging on your pregnant little sister. And the fact that nobody is acknowledging this is wild to me. Taseki's not innocent in any of this. Taseki admits that she swung on Marsh first because Marsh decided to speak up for Chrisean since nobody else was speaking up. Taseki admits that. There wasn't the jump did not come because Chrisean, they were just plotting on her. No, you kept barking at your sister, jumping up in her face, ready to take a swing. Marsh speaks up for her best friend. You turn to Marsh and was like, man, mind your business. No, this family, it don't matter if it's family or not. There is nobody with any sense of moral that's going to watch you try to take a swing on a pregnant woman. You can go to jail for that in real life, Taseki. I don't care what Zeus got going on. You can go to jail for that. If Chrisean wanted to go and sue Zeus just for you swinging on her or even putting her in that environment, she could. To this day, she technically could. Because that's how illegal that is. So that girl only said, stop doing that to her. You swing on her, you start whooping her ass, and then Jen decides to go and jump in to help her friend, as most friends would if they seen their friend get their butt whooped. And that's how that goes. And now you step out playing victim like, oh, she called them to jump me. Oh, she called them to job me. Completely leaving out what took place beforehand. Like we all didn't just watch this season. You used that girl. Then you decided to use her again. Y'all back on the show. And you flip again from a situation that already took place. You're mad that Marsha's around. And I get that, right? But Chrisean is like, I'm not going to let go of my best friend. It's not like my best friend swung on you because she was plotting. My best friend swung on you because you was trying to swing on me. That's literally what happened, right? No matter how much you try to rewrite the story. And another thing that is a rewrite of the story is that after that swinging situation, and if y'all remember, Taseki's friends didn't go throw water or liquid, whatever it was, on Chrisean while she was pregnant. Remember, she stepped outside the bus, they threw something at her. And then Taseki goes on social media to tell everybody that Chrisean was snorting coke, doing cocaine while pregnant, right? That led Chrisean, while she was in the hospital with Junior after the hernia surgery, y'all can go and watch that here on YouTube. That led Chrisean to saying, oh, you know what? You essayed me. And you know what also happened? Your son was essayed. She said that then. She said that over 2 years ago. She been said that. Okay, it's not new. So for Tasika to act now as if like she just brought up the son, no, she didn't. She brought up that son 2 years ago. Literally, it's still on YouTube. She used that girl. Both of them are weird. The whole family is weird, but they are weird. And speaking of number 5, I need Marsh to step away and move around from Chrisean. There is no amount of clout and notoriety and relevancy that important that you stick around for this level of chaos that you're willing to continuously get disfigured. Jan left. I don't know what Marsh, I don't know what type of death sentence this girl got that she is continuously being around there, but it doesn't make any sense. She needs to move around. Seriously. Okay, you are only going to get hurt. Number 6, Chrisean is no saint. I don't understand why Chrisean is trying to, like, who is she trying to lead to Christ? Chrisean trying to lead somebody to Christ is like a crackhead thinking that they can lead you to Christ. A former crackhead can lead somebody to Christ, right? But not somebody that's actively still doing drugs. You can't tell me shit. And that's literally what Chrisean is on. Chrisean is still out here throwing up gang signs with Bino, threatening people's lives, rather be Crips, blood, trying to get everybody involved. She's still definitely doing drugs. And you thinking because you sing Yahweh that we are supposed to forget all of that, all while neglecting her child. And you're like currently, not even like acknowledging that, you know what, I messed up with him in the womb and you know what, I'm going to still try to work towards doing something better for him. No, you still putting him in environments he don't have no business being in. And you thinking that we want to hear you sing that terrible song, Yahweh, girl, if you don't move around. 7, Junior has no support. Junior has no support from Blueface in the family. He don't have any support for Chrisean in the family. I'm sick of people acting like when he was with Chrisean's sister that he was better off. There is plenty of pictures of Junior online with Taryn with the soggiest diaper. Y'all are forgetting that even the brother posted videos of them all playing card games in the living room while Junior is in a dark room off to the side with no toys laid up on the back, and they only run to him when they hear him squealing. That's it. That's it. Junior has no toys. And I'm sure that's due to the disability, due to the poor eye coordination. Because he has no toys whatsoever. They just lay him on the back. Junior, I would say that Junior is better off in foster care, but you never know with foster care. But what we do know for a fact is that both families, whether it be Blueface family or whether it be Chrisean family, he has no support. He has none. And that's very sad to see. Chrisean is used by every man that she deals with. That's number 8. Okay. Bino used her. This 18-year-old used her. Every man, Ronnie, you name it. Let's be clear here. There is nobody that's going to take Chrisean seriously with a whole nother man's face on her face and a missing tooth and poor hygiene. It is clearly to get their social media account up. That's it. That's it. She is used by every man. The fact that she thinks that these people really want her, I need her to go and she really needs to find Christ. Seriously. Chrisean, number 9, Chrisean has blown all of her opportunities. Chrisean has had too many opportunities to go and break the generational curse that has been instilled on her and her family. She has had too many opportunities to even advance her family's life. And she has messed every last one of them up, whether it being from connection in the industry where she has actually put her hands on people, where she has actually threatened people's lives, whether it be from the streamers that no longer want to be around her, that don't only much want her in the spaces so she can't get money with them, whether it been from Fashion Nova and all these other people that she's had quote unquote deals with, including Zeus. Like, she has ruined every single opportunity, and mark my words, Chrisean's gonna be back in Be More in 5 years. Within the next 5 years, she's gonna be back in Baltimore, sleeping on one of her siblings' couches between now and the next 5 years. Okay, brings me to number 10. Chrisean, karma. Like, she's experiencing karma, and she's gonna continue to experience it until she does right by Junior. Until she does right by that baby, she's gonna continue to go in this downward spiral. And that's all I gotta say, y'all. Y'all let me know your thoughts. Bye.